are back. It is episode 6 of Blood, Sweat, and Beers, the official Dallas Beer Guardians podcast. I am your vice president, Dennis, here with your president, Marcus, and resident director, Hubertito, with his Mexican gear on this week. It is a victory Monday for the FC Dallas boys. It's a victory Monday for the Mexican Federation, too. We'll talk about that later. But we got a win on the road, 3 points on the road, and are we back?
No.
We're crawling back.
Is that what we're doing? Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I'm a little bit worried that all our wins come off controversy, right? That Houston game, was it a foul? Was it not a foul that we won? Then this one, is the red card? Is it not a red card? Now, you can slow down anything and make it look like it was a massively, egregious foul. But
yeah, I mean, I think that's worth talking about. The fact that when they were showing the replay itself, like they literally stopped it.
Yeah, right where his foot was up and he was swinging. And it's like, again, you slow down any regular tackle, especially in the NFL, they all look absolutely terrible.
Well, and full transparency for me, I where I landed on the whole thing with the red card was it's a justifiable red card, but man, it felt harsh to me.
Yeah,
it did, but it was justifiable because he played the man and not the ball.
Which apparently what they've been calling this year in MLS, and I guess the thing they're trying to push in general is even if you're playing or trying to play the ball, if you get contact, they're giving you the call now. It's pretty hardcore.
Okay. Yeah, it's you have to play the ball.
Yeah, a missed tackle is or a missed kick, as far as they're concerned, is a foul now.
And you can look at a little later in the game with the head-to-head contact that went on, where we almost lost Patterson Delgado there for a few minutes, and he didn't wind up coming out at halftime because of it. Assuming that was concussion protocol, which means we probably won't see him again this week.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. The fact that they let him play on and then pulled him off is a little different, so we'll see.
Yeah,
but the difference there was that was clearly a play for the ball, and it was a incidental obviously not incidental that there was blood, and I'm sure both of those guys were seeing stars, but there was a non. They were both playing the ball, right? There was a play for the ball, and it was just a mistimed tackle, and it didn't
totally honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if we want to get going on the game right away, can we start talking about the lineup?
Let's start with the lineup. I can
because there was a couple of things to talk about, I think, in the lineup, and the fact that the formation was different.
Yeah, well, let's start off. We were asking for Chu to start. He got minutes. What do we think? Let's grade him. First time we've seen him all year.
I thought I saw some promise. I didn't see any major blunders, at least, which is something. I know that's not how I want to grade a starter, but I don't know. I saw some potential. I thought he made a play here and there. I think he was mostly a non-factor, but I don't know. I think there's something there.
He gave me Fafa Pico vibes. He's got quick feet. I'm just not sure about his decision-making just yet.
Yeah. I'll need more time.
Back to fitness. So in time, we should be able to see it. But for right now, we need speed on the wings. There were a couple of Reddit comments, and that was the thing that I think people are like focusing in on is that.
Are you taking Reddit seriously again?
No, I don't take anything. I'm a touch grass generation, so I don't take anything on the internet seriously. If we're
making sure you're not taking the internet too seriously.
No, but in this case, I do agree. We're not going to get a Fabian Castillo. I mean, God willing. But we need someone we can go over the top, because Musa, as good as he is not fast. Neither is Lucho. So it's like we need, Julio, Chu to break the line and run over the top. We don't have that right now. Neither is Logan Farrington. None of these guys are speed demons.
Now, while I agree that Logan's not a speed demon, he has found a way to do it.
Yes.
With his body, which at least is something.
Yeah.
I will say Farrington's skill level is exceptional, but his mind for the game is years beyond his age. I think he knows the game, and he knows how to position himself, and he knows where to be on the pitch. He knows what angles to play. He knows how to lock a guy down in the corner. And while his skill is very good for his level, I think he is wise beyond his years as far as that's concerned.
No, for sure. I agree with that. I mean, he's playing well above his I guess pedigree at the moment. The problem is you might plateau. right? He's got good mentors, right? He's got Musa, who's he's a non-starter in Portugal, but a non-starter in Portugal probably can teach Logan quite a bit. So,
but to that point, I mean, Farrington was starting, and he didn't start this week, so he was back coming off the bench, and he got some decent minutes off the bench, but also he did not start after starting the past few weeks. So, what does that say?
Yeah, it seems like everybody but the back four is malleable, which is the worrying thing because the back four is who I want you to rotate. So
I assume that part of that problem is that we haven't had the depth in midfield, and he's been trying to figure that out. Like, oh, who can I throw back there just in case I need them or something? I don't know. What I've liked about Farrington beyond like his soccer IQ that we're seeing is, man, he is just running through walls too. He's not afraid to take someone on. He's not afraid to shoulder someone and try to fight for a spot, which is it's the dog mentality thing again. It's
There was a point late in the game where Lucho had to kind of calm him down after that yellow card because he almost turned that yellow into a red with the way he was.
No, absolutely.
Space. Yeah. And so good on Lucho for being the leader there and earning that armband and literally grabbing Farrington and pulling him back down the field.
I want to say something else about Lucho and his captaining this game. It's the first game I felt like I saw Lucho as a captain. He was on the field, like placing people in different positions. Free kicks were coming up. He was organizing people and calming people down, pushing people away from the ref and talking to the ref himself. This first game where I felt like he looked like the captain.
That said, neither him or Musa should take penalties the rest of the season.
So we'll get to his start and his excellent clean sheet in a minute. But somebody on the depths of the internet had suggested Michael Colodi should be taking penalty kicks since he was the runner-up for goalie wars at the All-Star game last year.
For the record, I made that joke live to Marcus.
Did you?
Okay. Okay, somebody else made it in Discord, I think. Maybe it was you. I don't know. Maybe I just stole your joke.
I did not make it in Discord.
Shout out to Nas. No ideas original. So we always nothing fun. But no, really, we need to find.
You're gonna get me to just drop a Queensbridge.
I'm just saying all the time. QB. So to be honest, I kind of wish we had a center back that could do it because like Rito Ziegler was the last regular guy where we're like it's automatic. Everybody since then, it's been Jesus. That's been So yeah, we need to find. I don't know if he needs to take a 30-minute during training this week and be like, yo, guess what we're doing for the next 30 minutes?
PK.
I don't know.
Entire day of training.
I'm convinced at this point the decision to let Musa then Lucho take it or because they're the stars, right? I imagine that there's plenty of players on this team that can take a penalty. Now, whether they're a sure thing, that's different. But like, better than those two penalties, that's for sure.
Yeah, the one this game. I mean, again, let's start off good. We won 2 games on the road. We've already doubled last year's total, right?
Yeah.
We got 7 points on the road. The problem is we only have 7 points.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Plus, negative. We need our home form. All right, here's the thing. If we can fix our home form, we're world beaters. If we just do what we do on the road, like get a draw, a couple of wins, we're good to go. But we cannot, especially early in the year. This is when we usually win because we know around June, July when it's 100 degrees, we melt like dandelions. It's absolutely ridiculous. Granted, we all melt in 100-degree weather, so that's understandable. But we got to get our home form back, and I don't know how we fix that. Maybe
I will say this: it's 2 games, and I don't want to put too much weight on anything, but I think we played 2 really good teams at home. I think Vancouver might be the best team in the league right now. They're clearly the best statistical team in the league right now, and they may be the team in the best form right now. And Chicago looks a hell of a lot better than I think anybody actually expected them to be. And Chicago might be dangerous this year. So
yeah, but it's again, we talked about this. It's not the fact that you lose; it's how you lose. 3 goals,
100%. And losing to Chicago after being up and losing it in the 85th is embarrassing at home, and I never want to see that again. And Coach, he ate that up and he took ownership of that. And then they came out and lost to a really, really good Vancouver team the following week. But we'll see what happens this week home against a really bad KC team. But
my positive takeaway coming from from Vancouver is keeping them down to 1 goal is pretty impressive. And the shots on goal wasn't that high, was it? What were their shots on goal? Well, I guess the details don't matter on that. We kept them down to 1 goal, which is pretty good. And honestly, not letting in a goal against Salt Lake is surprising to me, even though they're not missing their starters. I thought this back line wouldn't hold as good even against a slightly weaker team.
Yeah.
So I am happy about that. I still got some positives. I'll be honest with you. If we don't beat Kansas City at home, I will panic.
Yeah, this week is definitely make or break at home, right? This is a we need to do something, and we need.
You're
to see
playing
some
a
action.
trash team.
You're playing a bad
don't know
team,
what
and
to
we
tell
need
you.
to beat up on bad teams. We need to beat up on bad teams, and we need. Frankly, I want to see an ass kicking this week. I want to see 3, 4, 5 goals this week.
I want to see a well-taken penalty. That's all I really want to see for the rest of the season.
Well, fun fact: we have now scored this year as many penalties as we did the year where we took no penalties. So there's that.
Yeah. So it's
crazy.
Yeah, we went from not getting a penalty for almost 2 years, right? It was like 18 months worth of like 0 penalties, and that's like
across all competitions too.
Yeah,
Get ready to go 18 months without scoring one now.
No, we can't. We got too many. We got too many ballers on the team.
You could shoot blindly and make more than that. Yeah.
Again, I'm not one of them dudes where like I don't judge professional players based on like, oh well, I could do better than that. I judge them based against themselves. Like any good musician, right? They have their classic album. I judge everything they do off that work. You're a professional. Same thing with Shaq and free throws. I never gave the whole, well, he's just not good at them. I'm like, this is your job. You're getting 7 figures a year. Like you should be able to shoot standing still with no one in front of you to a hoop.
Or at least be respected enough to practice it.
Yeah, like hack a Shaq was a strategy. So anyway,
yeah, for sure.
Now that just to revert back to the game, we played well. We got 3 points. That's the best thing we can say about this game. We got 3 points. We can't really take anything away from it tactically because again, playing a man up, right? The possession numbers weren't as good as you would expect for playing a man up. We probably should have scored 1 more. Again, being a man up.
Yeah.
My progression numbers did change. MLS did update those yesterday, so I think it was 51-49 our favor, so it wasn't as bad as it initially looked, which was like 68.
Yeah, even watching the game, I was like, wait, we didn't park the bus, which I guess is good because that's what we tried to do against Vancouver.
Let's park the
bus. I'm like, no, we don't have the right bus. Our bus is broken. The engine's not working.
It's on cinder blocks.
Yeah. Like we're not parking this bus.
The bathroom doesn't work.
No. Yeah. It's so we got to continuously, work. Like again, this game, the back line wasn't the problem. The problem was the offense. So how do we think the midfield worked this game? Because that's been again, you can't really take anything from it tactically because we were up a man. But how do you think Lletget Romario handled this game?
I think it was better, although still not good. I was actually really impressed by Lletget this game, but maybe that's because they gave him more freedom to go forward.
Yeah.
Positives I'm taking from this game are that we should have had a lot more. We just didn't put him away. Lletget deserved a goal or two this game, and I felt so bad for him.
That volley was absolutely beautiful. If he'd have got it, that'd been goal of the week. But the goalkeeper sat on his head, as they say in hockey. I guess that's what they do. And
stood on his head.
Yeah, that was a hell of a goal. And again, Musa being the assist guy is just like.
And again, Musa too. Couple of chances that I'm surprised didn't get buried. They got blocked. Anyway, we're talking about the midfield though. I thought Ramiro looked better in this formation change. Still doesn't seem like a 90-minute guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely need him to be on the field slightly less for another option, maybe a little bit.
I was going to say, when Siki came in, a lot of line breaking passes. I was like, man.
Crazy what happens when you let Siki just attack.
Yeah, I'm just like, no, just keep doing what you need to do. Here's the thing. I don't think Siki should start either, right? I think Siki should get 30 minutes.
Siki's another great energy off the bench guy, right? He's like Barrington. He's just a spitfire coming in, unleashing hell at 100 miles an hour off the bench.
Yeah. But the thing about number 9s is that they need minutes. So he's too good for us to send him to the USL Championship, but not quite good enough to take Musa's spot. And Moose is not going to get a call up, so it's not like Moose is going to miss games. So unless there's an injury or something, we're just going to keep rotating.
I mean, we did
That
see
is
them
not-
run a double striker randomly a couple of times last year. Was it Open Cup where they ran the double
I
striker?
believe it was.
Yeah, it
And that was super fun.
Mhm.
They had more chemistry than Zeus and Musa did.
Well,
Yeah,
technically,
that's
this week they did change up the midfield a little bit, right? So
Yeah, I think it made a huge difference. I guess what I keep hearing is it was like a 4-3-3-ish diamond.
Quill called it a 4-3-1-2 is what Quill called it in the post game presser. But yeah, it's essentially a diamond 4-3-3, and
Got it.
yeah.
I was trying to visualize it.
Yeah, Leggett obviously looked a hell of a lot better as he was allowed to go forward a little bit more, and I think looked some of his best. I think it was one of his better performances career-wise, at least over the past couple of years. And Ramiro looked a little bit better. I'm hoping it's maybe just Ramiro's getting back to fitness after being injured and sick, and hopefully he's getting back into a little bit better shape. But he's not going to be a full 90 guy, right? He's not going to be a full 90-minute guy moving forward, and he's never going to be anymore, right? He's 32, right? 31?
Yeah, I'm sure the plan was never for him to be a full 90 guy. We saw Show come in and have the issues, but he was back on the bench this year or this game. So that's positive. And Kaique was on the bench. So maybe we're seeing the move into that now. And, maybe what you'll end up seeing is starting with the veteran and then subbing in a younger guy. I don't know. But I definitely don't want to see Ramiro out there for a full 90 right now.
I was really hoping to get that second goal early in the second half so that we could have jumped on and gotten Kaique some minutes in there. I think he would have looked. I think this would have been a great opportunity, up a man to be able to just break him in with 2 goals. But I get what you're saying. At the same time, if I'm actually playing with a man down, I think preferentially for me, I play the veteran because playing a man down is deceptive, right? Especially like that last 15 minute, the other team thinks they might be able to get something back. They are going hard at you, right? And I don't know. I don't know if I want my 19-year-old unproven guy there. Yeah, I just think if they had gotten that second goal, it might have been a little bit better of an opportunity to get him in there. And I think that's why he didn't come in. And
Maybe
it was a little bit lower of a pressure situation that if they do give up one in the last 15 minutes, then, there's still one more to go to protect. And obviously you get in protection mode and maybe even take Musa off and throw another defender up there and just put bodies on the back line. But
yeah, maybe so. But I guess I'm still afraid of parking the bus, like Marcus was saying.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, but if you're up 2 with 15 minutes left to play, I think that's when you can really start moving the bus in reverse, at least, and getting it into position.
We know who the bus parker is. Whenever they bring in the third center back, that's
true. Which
he's not getting
like the last 5, right?
Minutes. I don't get why. Is it a fitness issue? Do we not trust him? Like
we talking about Lawless?
Lawless Abubakar.
Abubakar, yeah. We got him. He was a starter in Colorado last year, so I'm very confused.
They weren't too sad to see him go, though.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I agree with that. But he's a starter in MLS, right? So you bring him in. The fact that we were letting goals in arbitrarily, and you weren't like at any moment like maybe we should,
No, I agree with that too. Like you don't want to shake it up. Then interesting. Maybe Quill just thinks it's a chemistry issue. I don't know.
I also think that for better or worse, I think Ibi is the front office's guy. He's the guy that is the rah-rah, we're going to do this, and we're going to, he seems to be a leader in that locker room for better or worse, and I think they rally around him, so you're not going to park him on the bench. And Oz is too good to park, right? Oz is too good to take off. And as much as I think we talk shit about Ibi here, I think the club and the front office and even the coaching staff seems to really believe that he is a leader on and off the field for this club, and for better or worse, that's what it is.
Now, while I agree with the leadership thing,
yeah,
there's plenty of players who are good leaders from the bench.
Absolutely.
And I want to bring up a time where we had a similar scenario where we had somebody who we thought was going to be our guy, and that is and I blanked on his name because I'm a fool. Mexican League guy, Argentinian, didn't score any goals for it. Well, he did. He scored some goals for us. We got him from Pachuca. I'm blanking on his name right now.
Which one?
Oh, my goodness. The Argentinian forward we got from Mexico.
You're talking about, he scored goals here. He scored.
No, he did, but he was not starting quality.
He's not great. We got him. I know what you're talking about. We got him late. He was
Oh,
good against us in CONCACAF Champions League. We finally got him on the free, but it was 4 years too late at that point. 3 years too late.
Okay. I'm embarrassed because I'm
talking
blanking on
to-
his name.
Well, I'll talk so you can look it up. That's why.
Yeah.
So the other big switch was Delgado, which I was actually asking for last game. Like maybe we should give him some minutes. And obviously the head injury cut his time short here. But
Unfortunately.
yes, he's solid. He's actually better going forward than he is defensively because again, he did say he was a 10. Now the problem is we play him as a defensive midfielder, so you're gonna have to adapt your game to our game. I mean, that was a big change. Lletget went forward more, which again, Lletget's more of a winger, to be honest with you. So the fact that we're playing him as an interior midfielder is what it is. I think we need two defensive-minded midfielders, and that seems like Romero and Delgado. Now we don't know what the new kid can offer, And I agree with Dennis that if we were up to this is how you introduce him, because he's not going to go from just getting here to starting. So you have to introduce him at a point where there's a little bit of jeopardy. Like, hey, we're up to go close out the game. This is where you send out a kid like that. Or
I guess you want to talk about grit, yeah.
Yeah. Or you send them in the other way where we're down 3 something and you're like, you know what? Welcome to the club. Go ahead and get you 10, 15 minutes so you can start. So there are 2 ways to introduce a guy. Yeah. Unless you're a big money guy and then you just walk into the team, which he is not. Well, I guess
Frank O'Hara. Thank God.
Frank
It
O'Hara.
was Frank O'Hara, who, yes, he scored goals, but he wasn't MLS starter quality.
Yes.
And nobody on this team had anything negative to say about him. And he was a leader from the bench, and everyone loved him for it.
Yes, but we were also paying him, I think, close to $1.5 million. So
I guess what I'm saying is if you can justify it with him, you can justify it with Ibby. I'm not saying we should just ride the bench with Ibby, but we've done it before and it worked out okay.
If we need a veteran, sometimes starter, leader, the club will love him. We can always go get Des Moines great. Matty Hedges.
If our team is starting Matt Hedges at the back, I'm going to lose my mind.
I'm just saying. So
there's been a lot of talk on the internet about, let's bring Matt home. And look, I get it. He's a hometown hero. He's a club legend. But I don't need another old man in the back.
If you give me a Jimmy Mauer style contract for Matt Hedges, I will be okay with it.
No, not a Jimmy Mauer. We did it with Omar last year. We're literally bringing you in on league minimum.
I guess you could do that. Yeah. I was thinking the scenario where Jimmy was also kind of a coach. It was weird.
Yes. Yeah. I can see that. I mean, Matt still lives here. So it's one of them things where whatever league minimum is for him at his age at this point in his career, which is 10, 11 years in at this point. He's been.
If it fits your roster slots, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it does. We need a fourth. Yeah. We need a fourth center back. So go get the old vet. And I personally think that'd be a good idea.
But I'm worried that I have a bias, but I'm worried that I'm like, let's do it. And then it's just because I love Matt Hedges.
Fair enough. Well, he's no worse than Omar.
I'm of the opinion that we need a second center back still, not a fourth center back. I think Ibby is a great third center back, and he can be that third man off the bench. Let him be the third old man off the bench. But I think we need another better. And again, I obviously the club disagrees with me here. Obviously the front office disagrees with me here. Obviously the coaching staff disagrees with me here. That's why I'm on a podcast, not in the front office, not on the coaching staff. But I do think we need another center back. But for better or worse, Ibby is the guy, it seems. And there's no taking Oz off the field. Oz has earned his spot. He's earned his minutes. He's earned his paycheck. He's earned what we paid for him. He is an excellent transfer and obviously a highlight of this season. And I think he's only going to get better here.
It's funny. Only in MLS is a €3 million defender.
Was he 3? I thought it was 4.
Was it 4? I thought it was 3 million euros, which meant it was like 3.6 our US. But only in MLS is that like a big spend. Like everywhere else in the world, it's like we spent 3 million on the defender. We're lowballing it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we don't pay defenders here.
And then people wonder why they're like, we're an offensive league. Yes, we will pay a striker or a midfielder $10 million to come bang in goals.
I think it's that American mindset, right? You want
exactly what it is.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's good, but I think
But
that's what it is.
That's what it is. It's the same reason the NBA doesn't play defense anymore, right? Because people want to come out and watch 130 points scored every game.
But NBA ratings are in the tank because no one actually wants to watch that, right? No one wants to watch people peel up from the half line every single up and down the field.
Well, I think most people were, and we're going to go off on left field, but I think most people were watching NBA because of production and like the reality TV of it for the last decade or so was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's like I whenever I catch a basketball game, it's who's sitting courtside. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
It's like
a disclaimer: I don't really watch much basketball, so everything I'm talking is probably regurgitated from something I heard someone say.
No, seriously, their ratings have been going. Part of it is, again, is Euro signings and lack of defense. Greg Popovich's era is dead. We're no longer games are going to 86, right? We're going to one. I saw a game 123, 127, and I'm like, is that an all-star game? No, that's a regular season game.
I watch a lot of Knicks ball. I was watching a Knicks game. I was watching the score on my phone. I wasn't actually watching the game a couple of weeks ago, and it was like 105 to like 97. And I was like, oh wow, was that the finals? No, that was like halfway through the third quarter.
Yeah, wow. This is another reason why when they're like, oh, so and so passed, number 10 on the scoring list, and they passed somebody who played 30 years ago, and I'm like, I still respect that guy from 30 because in order to get those points, he had to get elbowed in the mouth, he got punched, he got thrown in the court side. Now, dudes will just let you run by them. So how am I going to respect those points?
Yeah, I don't know. It's always hard to compare intergenerationally too, right? Like the games are always so different in every sport, right? It's like in baseball or even soccer, right? When you're trying to compare goats and stuff like that. I mean, come on.
We know the two goats, the long beards, big horns. We know.
We know the goats, Diego Maradona.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Just kidding.
Who's the goalkeeper who always did the scorpion? That guy's an absolute lunatic.
It's a Colombian guy, right?
Yeah, love that dude. Yeah. And the fact that him and Pablo Escobar were friends, it's just like, yo, the things that happened.
Soccer's incredible, isn't it?
You will get no arguments about Maradona.
That's the beautiful game.
That for sure.
But to Hubert's point, every American sport is moving in that direction. Like, I mean, you look at baseball, the home runs are through the roof. You look at football, you can't touch a quarterback anymore. You can't touch a wide receiver anymore. Even hockey, you look at Stars games lately. Stars are scoring 4, 5, 6 goals a game now, right? So it's the new era of sports where it's American sports, at least, where
I will say hockey is a little different because you can't affect the scoring as easily. If you have a really good goalie, you can do whatever you want. I'm a brick here, but I get what you mean. But
this is a thing that Marcus brought up, I think, earlier this week. Even we were talking about something else, but it does partially ruin the American product.
It does. It's like, it's one of them things. Like we all see it as maybe that is an issue, but we all see like. You should get as excited as a good goal line clearance as you do as a really good free kick, right? Because you can win on both those things, right? If you're up 1-0, the fact that defender didn't give up and ran 40 yards and cleared the ball on the line should also get you out of your seat. But it doesn't.
Yeah, goal-saving actions are valuable.
Exactly, for sure.
And we don't even celebrate. I mean, we may in the supporter section, but the rest of the stadium is not celebrating a quality tackle. Like these are not things that are noticeable to the average fan, right?
Yeah, well,
I'm not crapping all over anybody or anything. It's just not it's not what American sports fans are used to. So if you watch, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and you come to watch an MLS game, you're here to see attacking football. Yeah, because that's what an American audience is here for.
Yeah, well, it's the average American sports fan just wants to see a really exciting, bright, crazy game, and I think that's why soccer took so long to take any root in this country. First off, but it's why when you bring a new fan to a game that ends up tied 1-1 or 0-0, they're like, "Yeah, this is boring."
Yeah,
it's like, well, it was boring. There were 13 shots on goal.
Yeah.
That wasn't boring to me.
Everywhere, the corner kicks, the free kicks hit the post. Like it was, to us, great tactical game.
Mm-hmm.
So Marcus, that is a great segue to our next, I think, level of this game here.
Yeah.
First start, first clean sheet for the reigning.
Are we sending Paz to Guam? Oh, no.
Dennis just wants to bench Martin Paz.
I'm just saying, Paz. Paz leaves the country for 5 seconds and this spot is taken.
Disclaimer to protect Dennis. This has been more of a bit than an actual thing.
For sure. Most definitely. No,
I love Martin Paz. I was wearing my Paz shirt around town yesterday, but
yeah,
for a kid who came in and not to knock, I mean, he was keeper of the year in Next Pro last year, but Michael Colodi coming in off the bench, clean sheet, had some quality saves and looked really good. He's my man of the match this weekend, Michael Colodi. How you doing?
Wait, so you're telling me FC Dallas had a young goalkeeper come in and kick ass?
I mean, he's 23.
I've heard this story every few years. I mean, he's young for a keeper. Anyway, though, like we love a good keeper here. We always seem to pull one out of our asses somewhere.
I liked him, but again, the same thing we said about the midfield. It's hard to judge it based on the fact we were up a man and he wasn't really tested.
So, I think that's very incorrect. I think he was super tested this game.
There were a couple of shots that he had a couple of really nice saves. There was one towards the end where the ball kind of rolled out, so he didn't it didn't look as clean of a save as maybe it could have been, but he was knocking balls out. There was one that he punched out that looked really well too, and then there was another shot earlier in the game where it cleared the top of the bar and he went up and was ready to push it out, but recognized mid-leap that it was going over the bar and bent himself backwards so that it was a goal kick and not a corner.
Again, not degrading his, but they had 11 shots, 2 on target. He was not tested. Right. He had a nice, easy debut. And I say easy. You still have to finish the job.
Still got to show him to work.
Yeah.
Go watch the highlights and tell me it wasn't tested. But
I mean,
he also came out for crosses. He came out and was aggressive on the ball, which was good. My biggest concern with Colodi this game was he definitely doesn't have the sure hands yet.
Again, that could be nerves.
Man, maybe it's nerves. I think that Colodi came out knowing he didn't have to win the job, and he wasn't going to. I think Steve Davis is the one that said that on the podcast last week. Colodi needs to come into this game and say, I know I'm not going to win this job. I just need to prove that I'm your guy in the future.
He just needs to prove, like, hey, if there's any garbage minutes, U.S. Open Cup, right?
Sure.
If there's any of those games, Paz is going to be gone for Indonesia, especially next year. Well, never mind. Indonesia's not qualifying, so ignore that bit.
Well, they play Bahrain tomorrow morning, so if you're up listening to this late this evening, go ahead and check out the Indonesia Bahrain game at I think it's 7:45 Central Time.
Yeah, like I checked their
8:45. Sorry.
Yeah, I checked their points thus far. It is very unlikely.
Bleak.
Yeah, they're not quite made. But that being said, there will be international windows, Nations League, whatever that's happening, and we need to know who the second guy is. I'm going to tell you, I'm surprised it wasn't Antonio. We signed them with such fanfare, and then nothing. I'm going to say
I don't know. I'm not as surprised by that.
Damning for Antonio that he didn't get called up here. I do think it might be a knock on him at this point.
Is he?
I don't agree with that.
Right? Just so we're clear about that,
he's here.
So he's not loaned out. So we have all 3 goalkeepers on the roster.
Sure.
And we picked the guy we signed last year, not the guy we signed 2.5 years ago. Like,
look, Antonio Carrera was never expected to be the number 2 this early. The fanfare happened because he's homegrown and he's a Carrera.
Fair enough. But
in my opinion, I think after watching North Texas and watching Colodi play North Texas all last year, we knew that Colodi is the better product right now. I think most people would argue that Antonio Carrera is meant to be more of a long-term project and your guy that steps up in a few seasons.
What's
18-year-old starting keeper that is still developing over a 23-year-old that you're considered to be more developed right now? I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a knock on him.
How old is Antonio?
18, 19?
No.
I'll say this. It may not be a knock on him that Colodi got the start on Saturday. What's a bigger knock against Carrera is not only did Colodi get the start on Saturday, but JT Harms got the start over him on Sunday for North Texas.
Correction. He's 21. I was wrong. But remember that the game plan this season, they were trying to loan him out. the idea with Carrera is clearly still to develop him. So I don't think
they loaned him out last season to USL North Carolina, and he did not get enough minutes, and they brought him home because he wasn't good enough to get minutes there, apparently.
Yeah, I just don't think there was ever a narrative of he was going to be the number 2 this year. I think that was something we assumed. He wasn't the number 2 last year, and you had Jimmy, who wasn't trash, but I don't know. I just don't think it was ever the game plan to have him be number 2 this year. I really don't.
Okay. Interesting point of order here. Interesting stat, at least. The last 3 FC Dallas clean sheets have come with the backup goalkeeper. So,
I mean,
Colodi this week, and then the last 2 were Jimmy last year. Were the last two clean sheets up to this point.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing to point out, but I don't know how much you can counter discount with this defense.
Yeah, Martin Foss should have been the goalkeeper of the year.
Guys, you're the ones blaming Foss, not me.
Oh, what? Stop it. Okay, I see what you're doing there. Yeah. No, I didn't say
that. I'm just stating facts. I just
feel like that's more of a testament to FC Dallas always tends to have decent goalkeeper depth. Sure.
Since Chris Seitz, way back. I mean, to be honest, that's the one thing the U.S. soccer in general produces a lot of, except for currently with Matt Turner. But besides that, always a good goalkeeper. I mean, same thing with Jamaica. I will say that we always a good goalkeeper. I don't know if it's because they're easier to develop, and once you find one, they'll play till they're 37.
Maybe that's
a long time.
Certainly was the case with the U.S. for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, once we start talking about Nations Cup later, we'll get into that. But this is the big picture here that we made a big difference. Again, when you slow down anything to that degree, it looks like he intentionally, stomped on his ankle, and that was clearly not the intention. I want everyone to go look back at that, and VAR is good, but sometimes it can produce unfair, in my opinion.
You know what? We've had so many unfair calls go against us over the past couple of years. So we got 2 that go our way this year, and it turns into 6 points. I'll take it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, over officiating is definitely a problem right now, right? It's definitely a thing, and we're trying to find the balance.
That was a poorly officiated game all the way around.
I was going to say that, but
one of the things my brother said, Pablo used to ref pretty frequently, by the way. He thought this ref got emotional, especially during that 15-20 minute stretch around that red card. He was carding everyone. I mean, he was real sharp motions. He looked frustrated, and I think he got emotional, and I don't know if that impacted the red card or if he felt like he needed to prove that he was in control or something.
Well,
I don't know.
I think he got emotional after the red card because RSL kept at it for a while.
Sure.
And then every time FC Dallas would foul someone, they would all look at him like, "Oh, that's a red too." And I'm like, "Come on, guys! You got to calm down."
There was a lot of salesmanship going on, and I don't think anybody was immune to it. Delgado looked really good, but he had a couple salesmanship moments. Lucho had a couple sales moments, and he got a yellow for it late in the game.
What a horrible dive.
No, oh my goodness, he should join the Olympic team.
What a horrible dive. Oh my God.
It was fun. I actually kind of respect players now when they dive and they realize they're not getting it. They jump up really quick to act like they weren't trying to get the call. He, on the other hand, I'm like, we're going to see the replay. He stopped, you dive into him, and he wasn't there and fell. You've got, I'm hoping Quill takes him aside. I appreciate the attempt, but at least wait for the contact. Don't anticipate the contact. Wait for the contact.
I think we're seeing less of that with younger players nowadays. Now that we're starting to get players that have played under the clear dive as more of a yellow and under VAR and stuff like that. So I think we're going to see that eventually age out. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. I would like to see less diving because going back to the average American sports fan, all I hear is it's boring and people are just rolling all over the floor.
Yeah, I don't think people realize the damage that Neymar clip of him rolling. And granted, if you watch the actual play, he got
me as a Mexico supporter who was playing against him in that game.
Yes,
I understand.
Kicked out of him, and the rolling was justified, but the meme became a thing. This is what soccer players do, and I'm like, I don't think you understand. These are athletes, height of fitness, running at full speed. any little adjustment to that hurts, right? The same way I played rugby as a kid. I know rugby, NFL, you're like, oh, these are all big, tough guys. You got pad, you got protection. In rugby, you got a little padded hat, and y'all are running full speed at each other at any moment. And it's not even just the contact that hurts. It's the fact that you're grabbing for a guy, you might dislocate a finger, right? There are injuries that you don't actually realize happen in sports. That said, that dive was unacceptable, and we should definitely try to root that out of the game.
Yeah, dives are a thing, and we're trying to do something about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I will say, love Maradona, but the hand of God is just not going. That,
I mean, that's reality TV at its finest.
Oh, anyway. But yeah, so,
we're about to run out of time, so I just wanted to bring up one more thing, if y'all don't mind. This is the second game now where I felt like Lucho and Musa's passes, especially to each other, were just like a couple of inches off.
Yeah.
It happened last game. It happened this game again. I think it was a little sharper this game, but they still felt weirdly off this game.
I think we need a third guy. Because here's the thing, if it's just them two going back and forth, it doesn't work. But if you realize when Lletget went forward, it started to work because no one's paying attention to Lletget.
Fair enough.
Right? I can block out the two guys. You need the third guy. You need the Reggie Miller in the corner waiting for the pass, right? I'll lull you to sleep, and then I'll just pass it, and you're like, oh, wait, I didn't know he was still over there.
Yeah, so, I'm still not worried about this offense. I still think this offense is going to be phenomenal going forward. Yeah. I just think we've had a couple of low-scoring games, but the potential was there, and we had some serious chances that were just blocked or something happened. So I still feel good about our thing.
No, I do too. I think once we get the wings right, so either Chu or Julio, once we get them set, I think we'll be fine.
Julio back will help a lot.
Yeah, I don't know why we swapped out. Is someone injured or was that?
Well, Julio's getting his green card now, right? Is the big thing.
Yeah. All right, copy. So so Julio looked good in the games he started. So in my opinion, he should come back and get his spot back. But what I saw from Chu, I think was enough to get him minutes for sure.
Yeah. So after watching Sam Junka and Anderson Julio now, how do you feel about the trade?
I mean, here's the thing: is Sam
is this a win-win trade to you?
Well, I don't know if it's a win for them, but it might be a win for them because I didn't think we should trade Nelson when he ended up in Cincinnati after the injury, and then now he's an MLS Cup winner. So what do I know? There was Bartlett in Cincinnati. We got rid of. There's guys that I think are quality players that don't fit a system, and then they go on to do great things. And I hope that is the same for Junka, just not this year. So yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, I want to get the midfield right. I want to see what the 19-year-old has. The problem is if he starts, it means something has gone wrong. So it's one of those issues. But hey, we're 8th, 7 points in 5 games.
I'll take it.
We'll take it. All our points on the road. So mixed bag. We're home this week against our bogeyman, although Vermes is not the man he used to be, and neither is Kansas City.
Oh man, it's like he's drunk at the wheel or something.
Facts.
But
if you
know your MLS history.
Yeah. I want to do like what Buzz did with the weird book. Now I don't go as far back as he does, but yeah, there's some interesting things. But yeah, so we play Kansas City this weekend, Saturday at Toyota Stadium, 7:30 kick as per usual here. We'll be tailgating as per usual at 4:30. Red Lots Communities, our sponsor, will be providing beer. Which
we'll be providing free beer this game.
Yeah, free beer. It's weird. We don't always we do always do that, right? Free beer.
The beer is always free.
The beer is always free. Hopefully the weather cooperates. I have not checked, but
there's a small chance that it does.
Who cares? We have fun anyway. Rain, shine, wet, dry. We have a good time.
We know there are some people who don't. Yeah, but we got
rain or shine. It's sublime.
We are like the post office. We deliver in all weather. So so come on out. There's also a watch party at our sponsor community for our other team.
I got details.
There you go. So Hubert's going to take over on this part of the ad.
It's time for Trinity Corner with Hubert.
Yeah. All right. So Dallas Trinity's playing against Carolina Ascent away, and I think they're basically announcing their partnership with Community Beer, who's also our sponsor. So that's cool. They're going to start having watch parties there, and I think there's talks about there being Community Beer in stadium at some point in the future. But they're doing a watch party this Saturday. Starts at 5:30 p.m. The game kicks off at 6. If you show up in your Trinity gear, your first pint is free. And they will also have a team table there selling merch. So you can buy a shirt, support,
get a free beer,
and then go get a free beer. They straight up said, buy it and then go.
Excellent. So lots of free community beer around town this weekend. If you're up in Frisco, come join us for some free at the tailgate. If you're down south, go head over to community, watch the Trinity play on the road, watch FCD play at home from community as well. And the beer is free if you show up in your Trinity gear. Your first one's free, not all of them. Sorry, they're going to come after me and make me pay for beer if I say that wrong.
And for the record, Trinity has scored 9 goals in their last 2 games. So
go
watch them play.
Trinity is a great
game. The Doomsday offense, we're calling it.
Oh, is that what we're doing now?
Yeah, the Doomsday offense. Popped off on the Discord. I wish I could credit someone, but I don't remember who.
Yeah, they definitely have Brooklyn's ticket.
Look, Lexi Misimo and TCU player whose name I'm forgetting, Cameron. Phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean,
Cameron Lancaster.
We've been crying and asking for soccer back at the Cotton Bowl, and we finally have it on a regular basis. So I recommend going to every available game that you can, for sure. It's a great product. The ladies out there do their thing. The food's great. We should start tailgating soon once we figure out a schedule. So yeah, go support Trinity. Come out and support the boys up in Frisco, FC Dallas, Kansas City, Saturday the 29th. As far as the lineup goes, I expect more of the same. I think
hopefully Julio will be back this week, though. Hopefully he's got his card and he'll be back in the lineup, because it'd be nice to get that action back on the wing.
Yeah. If we can get Julio and Chu, we might get some speed. Then I think the back four is going to remain the back four. I think, unless barring injury, who did Delgado come in for? I'm trying to remember who was in that spot.
Pedrino played.
It's been rotating a little.
Well, Pedrino is where Chu started, so that's what I'm like. Who played last game as the 3 midfield? Romario, Leggett. Who's the third? I'm trying to remember.
Well, Delgado was on the wing, not on the side, wasn't he?
The way they have it is 3 midfield.
But I'll look up for you. Hang on a second.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the lineup. But yeah, so I expect more of the same. Delgado, barring concussion protocol, as Dennis mentioned earlier. I think he did enough, in my opinion, to go another round.
Yeah, Pedrino was on the left.
Was it Pedrino?
Last game, yeah. And he came out.
Stop questioning me.
Sorry, my apologies. I want Petrino to start just to see if Apple TV got his photograph correct. That's all.
And his name?
And his name, yeah. If we can,
they should be forced to put his entire legal name on there now. They need to put all 7 names he's got.
Listen, it took them weeks to even get Nkosi Tafari's name changed from Burgess. So
that is true. I mean, I guess because legally it was his correct name, but preference, all that good stuff. So, we need to. I guess. We got a couple of shows that we want to line up for off season, for off bye weeks. Like the Apple TV deal is a discussion. We need to get Bailey on here to blow her gasket about what might be unorthodox color on our 3rd kit. We won't mention that here. But if you're an FC Dallas fan, go look it up on FC Dallas Reddit. Everyone, I think, has an opinion on it. For sure.
We need to we might need to bring in the sensors for Bailey for that one.
That's a fact. We'll just have the button just clicking.
We're just gonna see.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what happened. That's crazy. But yeah, so 7 points, 5 games. I think we're basically what we thought we were going to be there for a while. Offense firing on most cylinders, defense problematic. But either way, we'll take the W. As they say, 3 more points in the pocket.
They don't ask how, they ask how many.
That's a fact. So let's look forward to this Kansas City game, and I'll let you boys finish this out.
Stay tuned this week. You'll hear from us several times this week. We'll be talking a little bit more in depth with Trinity. We'll be talking some USL. We'll be talking some US Open Cup, and maybe a little Nations League if we have time too. So keep up on the YouTube channel. And I'm not going to steal the thunder. Marcus, hit the line.
Like, share, and subscribe, guys.
There we go.
Peace.